Well, hello and welcome to my studio. You'll see this corner is now all very tidy. Today I want to talk about creativity, and particularly the way that there are so many people who will tell me that they are not creative. And I just want to kind of like unpick what that is a bit. I believe that absolutely everybody is creative. I think that there are a lot of us who have hidden that and squashed it down. But I believe that inside all of us, there is a massive amount of creativity. And I believe even more than that. I think that expressing that creativity and spending time with that creativity and letting it flourish is one of the things that allows us to lead fulfilled, grounded, vibrant lives. Now, I believe that creativity comes in many forms. It can be cooking and gardening. It can be, knitting and problem solving. It can be certainly things like singing and dancing, all of those things. But today I want to specifically talk about the things that we would regard as art. So painting, drawing, sculpture, collage, printmaking, textile arts, quilt making, these things. Because I feel that a lot of the people that I come across, that is actually the things that they are shying away from, that they're saying they are no good at. And I think that this feeling of not being creative is something that must happen during childhood. Because if you meet a toddler, no toddler has the feeling that they are not creative. They just grab the crayons and the paints and the paper and the wooden blocks and they get on with making. But by the age of 9 or 10, there are lots of children who are really self-conscious about that whole kind of being creative thing. And that certainly mirrors my own experience. And I'm going to know what exactly it is. So in my case, in primary 5, after the Christmas break, there was a group of girls who came back into class in January with the new ability to draw horses realistically. They could draw horses from the side, they could draw them standing and trotting, and galloping, and they could shade them in with their new Caran d'Ache crayons in tan and grey and black. And they would do these horses and then they would give them away to classmates. And suddenly, these girls became the girls who were good at art, and the people who couldn't draw horses, like me, very much like me, lost the joy of it somehow. And I remember really vividly being like this with my paper as I was drawing in art class, and aware that I was not measuring up to the horse drawing abilities. And from around about that time, so certainly primary 6, primary 7, I stopped drawing completely. And I did not pick up a pen or a pencil to draw with until I was in my mid-40s. It's a long time. If you haven't been here before, my name is Jane and I am a textile artist based in Scotland. And I run an online membership club called the Studio Club, which supports people and encourages people to reconnect with their creativity and with nature. You can find details of that underneath here. And I really don't think that I am unusual in having found that I had lost confidence in my creativity. I think that schools are also really bad, that you can either be artistic and creative, or you can be academic. And if you are at all academic, then the idea of doing home economics or art or design or anything like that is often seen as a bit of a waste. Why waste one of your academic subject choices once you get to exams? And add in something creative. So I don't think that I am at all unusual in this. But what saved me, what brought me back to the idea of drawing in, as I say, my mid-40s, was that I wanted to use it as a way of observing nature. If I could somehow disconnect the drawing from being a final thing, a product, something to show others, then it was excused from being good or bad. There was no need for judgment. The intention was all on the observation. So with this dried hydrangea flower head, the point is that I look at the colour, the shape of the sepals, how they overlap, how they join, the tiny dot where the seeds once grew, the delicate veins. What actually goes down on the paper is by the by. That spectre of the perfectly lifelike horse fades away because it's irrelevant. This is about looking. The other thing that I have deliberately done is to look for techniques that are creative without involving drawing. So monoprinting with plants, collaging with paper, eco-printing and cyanotyping, patchwork, quilting. And these have since become the heart of the activities in the Studio Club, so that as many people as possible feel creative without coming to a lurching stop when drawing is mentioned. This month, for example, we're making ink from avocado pits, and we'll then be playing with droppers and different papers to create wonderful, playful designs with the finished ink. In a similar way, it took me even longer to start using a sketchbook. Somehow I had the feeling that it needed to be something beautiful, something that came together, and I found that really daunting. All of those beautiful finished drawings going over several pages that you see on Pinterest just made me feel inadequate, and so I never ever tried. And it wasn't until an artist friend let me browse through some of her books, which were more like scrapbooks with pasted in drawings and cutaway pieces, that I realised I could do whatever I wanted. I didn't need to fear the blank page. I didn't need to ever show anyone. I could start a sketchbook. We are all creative, and yet so many of us somehow get that knocked out of us at a very young age. Brené Brown says, "Unused creativity is not benign. It doesn't just disappear. It lives within us until it's expressed, neglected to death, or suffocated by resentment and fear." She feels that unexpressed creativity starts to kill us from inside. And I must say that having seen how becoming more creative transforms people, I think that she has a point.